Okay, I'm at my wit's end here over this GPS and starter ignition cutoff switch that I purchased from Rhino Fleet Tracking. Apparently, they don't want to, fix the problem. I cannot tell you how many times I've dealt with this. I've been working with them for months, and every single one they sent me 6. All of them do the exact same behavior, and they won't admit that the thing just doesn't work the way it's supposed to, that they have something wrong with the way they have these set up. They keep telling me that they have customers that it works on, and I don't believe them because there's no way in hell this thing actually works. So, to prove to them that I have it hooked up exactly the way they're telling me to have it hooked up, I'm going to make this video to show them that it's hooked up the correct way. This is on my test bench. It's not an actual car, but it shouldn't matter. So over here I've got a 12 volt, 3 amp power supply. Okay, and this thing's 12 volt. And so coming out of my 12 volt power supply, we've got a kind of little rat's nest here. We've got these two power supplies. This is 12 volt positive, this is ground, or 12 volt negative, whatever you want to say. So on this connector then, I've got, let's see, on the 12 volt positive, we have connected, first we have the red wire that goes to the, we have the red wire which goes to the module. This is supposed to be connected to, oh, look there, power, 12 volt constant. So it is. And then coming out of the module, so that's that one. And then coming out of the module, this is out of the wiring harness from the module. There's the red wire. There's the red wire, goes through to there. That's connected to 12 volt positive. The black wire here is connected to, oh, look at that, 12 volt negative. Okay, to the ground. Okay, great. And then we also have connected the 12 volt positive right here. Another little wire. This one comes over and is connected to the white wire that comes out of the harness. Okay, and that's actually supposed to be ignition, and that's also 12 volt positive. So those are all connected exactly correctly. Okay, and there's proof of that because this thing is actually being powered, and it actually will charge the battery like this, and all is well and good. Okay, so then let's see what else we got going on here. So I've got this little LED connected, and I'm going to show you how that's connected up. I got this relay. I'm going to show you how that's connected up. I've got a little rat's nest of wires here going on, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so let's look at, so coming off of our 12 volt positive here, coming off of our 12 volt positive, I've got this another little lead wire that leads over to the relay. And it is connected to both the black and red inputs on the relay. Now, the red is supposed to go to the ignition side of the cut starter wire. Okay? And the blue goes to the other side of the cut starter wire. Okay? So that actually is the red and blue are what actually complete the circuit. That's where the ignition goes. So my LED is actually standing in the way, is standing in for the ignition circuit. So I've got the blue connected to this white wire, which comes over here and is connected to this resistor and this LED, and this black wire, which is then, oh, look at that, connected to the ground. And that is why this LED is lit, because it's connected to 12 volt positive through the red wire, and then over here to the ground. Look at that. Okay, complete circuit. And just to prove that works, let's disconnect the red wire. And look at that, I disconnect the red wire, the LED goes out. If I connect the red wire, it goes back on. That's because currently the relay is not engaged. Okay, so I'm going to reconnect these two. Back up real quick. Okay, so now the black wire clearly says right here 12 volt power. Okay, and that is actually coming, that's actually for the electromagnet in the relay. And the other side of that circuit is actually this white wire. So what's supposed to happen is this white wire is supposed to go to ground. This white wire is supposed to go to ground. And the way it does that is it connects to, over here through this yellow clip, over to this orange wire. This orange wire, which comes out of the harness, is supposed to go to ground. And if it goes to ground, guess what? The relay will trip. And there's an easy way for me to test this to make sure the relay works. We're going to take, instead of connecting this orange wire right now, we're going to connect this yellow wire here, which is the white wire. We're going to connect it over to, oh, look at this. We can connect it to ground. And guess what happens when we click to ground? Oh, the relay trips and the light goes off. So obviously the relay works. The relay works. See that? Ground, relay goes off. Ground, relay goes. Oh, look at that. Okay. So, oh, and look, we can connect this, trust this one other way, which is that, oh, maybe it's the ground that comes out of the module. But here, this black wire, that's actually ground from the module too. Because, you know, I looked at the data sheet. So, oh, look at this. If I connect it there, oh, the LEDs go out as well. Okay, so that's exactly what should happen. So this orange wire, which I'm going to reconnect it to, is, you know, controlled by the software. And if the software actually tells it that orange wire is supposed to go to ground. So, you know, if I come up here to my software and I look right now, and it says ignition enabled, click to disable, right? So if I click that, what's supposed to happen is that orange wire is supposed to go to ground. And oh, see there, it says it turned it on, but guess what? It didn't. My LED is still running because that orange wire didn't go to ground. Now, I'll just say this. Right now, this module is inside. It's flashing red because it can't get a GPS signal. But I've tested this also with this thing hanging out my window. It does the exact same thing, i.e. it does nothing. And I don't know why. I mean, clearly there's some kind of problem with this module. Probably not hardware. I suspect it's actually just software, just programming. Somewhere in the system, this relay is not programmed correctly to turn this thing off when this is clicked. And I don't know why, but Rhino refuses to actually take this seriously and actually get this thing fixed. Because, you know, here it is, 6 months later, I spent thousands of dollars getting these installed in my trucks, and guess what? I still don't have ignition cutoffs. Now, I will say, the GPS works. But, you know what? I purchased these modules specifically from Rhino because of these ignition cutoffs. And you know what? I can tell that they would work if they would work. If this one module, if this relay control, this orange relay control, which is relay for output, if it would actually go to ground whenever it's told to go to ground, you know, it would work just fine. But there's clearly some kind of problem with the software on these modules or the software in the back end, and Rhino just doesn't want to fix it. They want me to take it to another installer, and here's the kicker. Their installer that they told me to take it to, I took it to their installer, spent 4 hours there, and eventually he said he didn't even want to install it because he wasn't sure it was going to work. I'm not sure what the hell's going on, but Rhino's got some serious problem. And just to be clear, this is Rhino Fleet Tracking, right? That's their logo right there. I'm not sure that I would recommend their product at this point in time. Maybe they'll come through. I'm posting this mainly because I'm going to send it to them so that they can figure out, you know, that they can see clearly that I've hooked their product up correctly. And it's nothing to do with how I have it hooked up. It's nothing to do with that. It is simply one simple thing. This orange wire, this relay output from this module will not go to ground. That's it. That's the problem. This relay will not go to ground. If this control module would put this relay to ground, put this output to ground, this whole thing would work. So clearly, it's a problem with the software, or maybe this module, but I can't believe it's a module because I've had 6 of these, and they all do the exact same thing. They all work exactly the same way, they all don't work. They all do the same thing. So clearly there's something wrong with the way they are configured, or the way the software in the back end is working. Something is not correct with the way these modules are configured. That's it. If this doesn't work out, I'm going to end up having to, I don't know what I have to do. I got to get my money back from them somehow.